Hello and kia ora, and welcome to the University of Otago Undergraduate Health Sciences webinar for international students focused on programs being offered in 2025. And of course, we'll be looking at our scholarship and application tips for you as well today. My name is Megan Smith. I'm from the International Office at the University.
Tēnā koutou katoa. I'm Victoria McInerney from the International Office.
And we're delighted to be joined today by colleagues and current students with us. Welcome, Fiona.
Kia ora, I'm Fiona McDonald and I'm Director of the Health Sciences First Year Programme.
Hi guys, my name is Eric Seo. I'm the second year dentistry student at the University of Otago.
Kia ora, my name's Kaina and I'm a second year med student here at the University of Otago.
So a warm welcome, and we'll look forward to connecting back in with everyone a little bit later. As you can see here, we have quite a large agenda of topics to work through, and we're going to cut straight into it, kicking off with why Otago and introducing the University of Otago in brief to you. So the University of Otago is New Zealand's first university, the first and oldest, and we're ranked among the world's top 1% of universities. We have 21,000 students and over 2,500 international students who come from over 90 different countries. Otago has a very broad range of opportunities for you to study across a range of subjects and qualifications. And crucially, 95% of our graduates go on to further study or employment post their completion of their study with us. We are also five-star accredited with the QS ranking and rating system. So that's a great start. But one of my favorite personal rankings is in fact our beautiful campus. It really is a campus like no other in New Zealand or Australia. And it's a very special place to be as a student. And indeed, it's been considered one of the most beautiful in the world, which is rather nice. It's today not looking quite like that. It is winter today, so we're not wearing our shorts out there. When considering a university, rankings are often something that people do look to and consider. And it's great to see here that Otago is ranked 214th best in the world. Furthermore, subject-wise, we are extremely strong in a number of areas, and that includes anatomy and physiology, 30th best in the world, dentistry, 40th best in the world. Nursing is ranked very highly as well, as is indeed medicine, public health, and other related areas. The point of this information is really to show you the breadth and depth of research and education quality at the University of Otago. Now, one thing before we jump into health sciences, I forgot to mention at the start, is that this webinar is very specifically focused on international students. So just by chance, if you are a domestic New Zealand student or a permanent resident, the information for today is not really suitable for you. This is targeted toward our international student audience. All right, Victoria, let's hear about health sciences.
Thank you. So within our Division of Health Sciences, it's made up of 5 schools, which we list here, which is the School of Biomedical Sciences, Faculty of Dentistry, Otago School of Medicine, School of Pharmacy, and School of Physiotherapy. And later on in the webinar, we'll be doing a deep dive into each of these schools. But as well as these sort of overall rankings that Megan talked about, we are very proud that we are New Zealand's leading health sciences university. And what does that mean? That means that we are home to one of the oldest and largest medical schools in New Zealand. We've been teaching students over nearly up to 155 years on our health science professions. We're home to the only dental school in New Zealand. And we've got the oldest pharmacy school that was established at Otago. And we're incredibly proud too that Otago produced the first female medical graduate in Australasia, as well as other very notable alumni throughout the years. We take our teaching very seriously. So we are a research-intensive university, and you are going to be taught by some of the world-leading academics. As a New Zealand government university and New Zealand's oldest government university, we have the New Zealand Prime Minister's Award for Supreme Award for Teaching Excellence, and Otago has won this 8 out of the last 11 years. We're also New Zealand's top university for education performance, and that's by TEC, like Ministry of Higher Education.
Excellent.
This is an image of the Mellow Labs, which maybe Kiana and Eric will be talking to us a little bit later. As you can see, the world-class facilities. So we've got these beautiful sort of traditional buildings, but inside we've got world-class facilities. You will be based, especially as an undergrad, in Dunedin, but you may later on, depending especially in dentistry and medicine, also get to study in our other campuses around New Zealand in Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland for dentistry. These degrees that we're going to talk about in this next hour are internationally recognised qualifications and accredited. So as I was saying before, we have very good teaching staff, but we've also got, we're very research intensive. So some of the teaching staff that may be teaching you as an undergraduate, they will be professors, they'll be senior academics that will be bringing into the lecture theatre, into the laboratory, their research as well.
Fantastic. Well, it's time for us to now dip a deep dive into health sciences first year, which is a pretty critical concept for you to learn and understand when considering our professional programs at Otago. And really excited to welcome in Fiona to lead us through this information. Here we go.
Right, so as I said, I'm director of this health science first year program. It's quite a unique program. You might not recognise it if you're elsewhere in the world, but it's a one-year program that we have at the University of Otago, and it's essential if you're a school leaver coming to Otago and wanting to move into dentistry, medicine, medical lab science, pharmacy or physiotherapy. So it's 1 year of study, and you apply for those 5 health professions towards the end of the year. And to be accepted into those health professional programs, the grades that you get in those health sci first year papers are important. Notice that the university has several other degrees that are related to health sciences, but health sci first year is not the first year of the Bachelor of Health Science, and we'll probably come back to that degree later on. So there are multiple pathways that you can go from after completing the health science first year, which, as I mentioned, it's a single year program. And once you've completed, you might move into one of those 5 health professional programs. Again, medicine, dentistry, Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, physiotherapy or pharmacy. So a lot of our students will move into those professional programs, and the health science first year program has been designed to set students up to move very easily into those programs. But in addition, the health science first year is an excellent starting point to move into several other degrees that we offer here at Otago. 2 of those are other degrees associated with the School of Dentistry, the Bachelor of Oral Health, and also the Bachelor of Dental Technology. And in addition, Otago has several other degrees that you can move into: Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Biomedical Sciences, Health, and this Bachelor of Health Science, as well as the Bachelor of Science, which has several majors that are related to health sciences. So going back to what the health science first year program looks like, it's run over the 1 year, but we have 4 papers in the first semester and 3 papers in the second semester, and those 7 papers are compulsory. And then you may pick up an 8th paper in the second semester to broaden your year, and we make that information available at about this time next year, actually, if you come into health sci first year. There are a couple of other things to mention around what health sci first year students will need to be thinking about, as well as studying those 7 papers. The first is an English diagnostic test. This is compulsory for both international and domestic students. If you're planning on applying for those health professional programs, you have an opportunity to sit that test earlier in the year, and if you don't quite meet the thresholds, there are ways that you can show your proficiency in English during the year. We have, for at least one of our programs currently, the UCAT, which is required for domestic students, or for international students who might become a resident during the year of study. And this year, the UCAT is required for medicine, but it is under review. Notice that for dentistry, there is an interview which kind of takes the place of that UCAT. When you come into the Health Sci first year program, you'll be starting at the beginning of the academic year in late February, early March, and you're not actually applying for the professional programs until much later in the year, with applications opening on the 1st of August and open for a few weeks. The process is quite long for assessing students, and students don't receive offers until December.
Excellent. But Fiona, one thing that comes to mind to me is, of course, during that year working through those 7 courses or papers, as we call them, that's quite a good time and opportunity for students to possibly reflect and revise plans they might have thought they were thinking of, or realise a different passion.
Yeah, excellent point, Megan. So we definitely promote this to students. Some students come in absolutely focused on a particular health professional program, but by doing those papers or courses, they find that actually they're really attracted to another area of study that they hadn't even thought about or hadn't even been exposed to before starting their study. And that's why we've introduced those other degree pathways, and we have a lot of information going out to students during the year where the students can talk to staff in other departments and majors to find out where they might like to go if they've decided they don't want to apply for health professional programs.
So how do we get into health sciences first year? Let's have a look at that, Victoria.
Sure. So the academic requirements to get into health sciences first year are the same as university entrance. So we've listed basically the most common forms of matriculations or international qualifications that are accepted. Now, for example, if we take your IB diploma, a minimum of 24 or more, when you're, say, comparing Otago to other medical programs, you'll be thinking, gosh, that's jolly low. But remember, this is university entrance. So this is getting you into health science first year. Then we're going to use health science first year, those 7 compulsory papers and an 8th option, to basically find the top students from that. So when I'm always talking to students and their parents and education consultants, I say this is the minimum to get in, but realistically, you need to be the equivalent of an AA grade student. Look, any good quality medical, dental school, pharmacy, physiotherapy school, it is hard to get into. We want the top quality students.
One of the important philosophies at the University of Otago is everyone should be given the opportunity to prove themselves, and that is why our university entrance level is actually very realistic for many. So once again, getting into health sciences first year is actually rather straightforward. Simply meeting university entrance allows you to take health sciences first year. And again, there's no limit or cap to getting a place in that particular program, but it is your performance during the health science first year courses. That is what you are competing on in order to get into the professional programs.
Yeah, sometimes overseas, students ask, is this equivalent like to a 1 year pre-med or 1 year pre-dentistry? Fiona, would you say it might be a little bit like that? Is that a way to
It definitely is, because it's a real step up from high school, and you are learning subjects that underpin all of those health professions. And so that is why all our health professional programs have what they put in place or help to put in place this first year, because it's absolutely required to underpin everything that you'll go on and learn about in the later years of your degree.
All right, so it's fairly straightforward to get into health science first year, but just in case you haven't quite met the university entrance qualification as it stands today, there are options.
Yes, we do. So Otago University has their own foundation studies certificate, and you would major in like the health science stream. So basically students that are either maybe year 11 or haven't been successful, they come in and do 13 weeks on campus in those fabulous Mellow Labs that you saw in lecture theatres, and they are being basically taught the equivalent of year 12 and being introduced, I suppose, to the health science first year curriculum. So after 13 weeks, the students know the campus well, they know how to react or be in a laboratory, they know what's expected of them, and they've got a very small, basically, teacher to student ratio within the classes.
That's right. So it's 2 semesters of 13 weeks study. That's about 8 months in summary.
Correct.
There.
There are only 2 intakes, February and June, for the health sciences stream, because the students need to graduate in time for health sciences first year.
That's right. Okay, and in addition, just in case you maybe meet the academic requirements, but your English is slightly below our required level, there's the opportunity to take English for Otago, which is a specialist and intense program. We will support you to move up at least 0.5 of an IELTS according to the level that you're coming in on. And this is a fantastic way to really top up that English and get you well prepared for your studies at the university. Now, very conveniently, we have an upcoming webinar focused entirely on foundation studies, our diplomas, and indeed our English language programs. So feel welcome to mark Thursday this week in New Zealand time in your calendar if this could be of interest for you as well. All right, so now we're going to move into the breadth of our undergraduate health science related programs and just try to give you that opportunity to see there's more to health sciences than only being a doctor, although that's always a very popular option. But we'll just work through these degrees so you have a sense of the offering at Otago. So first off, let's kickstart with the Bachelor of Dental Surgery. Gosh, what a superb program. So it's health science first year plus an additional 4 years. And at the end of that, you're able to register and practice in New Zealand and Australia. And indeed, the structure of the program is rather exciting because after your health science first year, you then move into dentistry and have another critical year of coursework and lab-based work before you move into your years 3 and 4, at which point, whilst working initially with some simulation heads, you also start to actively work with real patient lists, supervised, of course. So you're getting hands-on involvement quite early on in the piece and in time for your 5th year with us, at which point you have effectively a full year placement either in Dunedin in a clinical setting or at our fabulous Auckland dental facility. So there's really excellent hands-on experience through our dentistry program and a real pride and joy for us, this program. We are New Zealand's national dentistry school. You can see a few other important facts, but something actually I would like to highlight is that our dentistry facility here in Dunedin was rebuilt and remodeled just a few years ago. So we actually have one of, if not the most modern facility in the world right now. It's a stunning facility to work in with the tertiary hospital, dentistry hospital level, as well as clinical areas and of course simulation labs and patient areas and study areas. So a fantastic program. So admission into the Bachelor of Dentistry is based again on your performance in health sciences first year. You must achieve a minimum average of 70% in each of those courses, but there is a 20-minute interview, which is a critical part of selection as well. Now, with the other professional programs, it's handy to know that international students are only competing with the other international students to secure a place. There are a specific number of international places, but you're not competing with all the domestic students. Okay. Related to oral health and dentistry, we have a 3-year Bachelor of Dental Technology. And this is a pretty exciting professional program in only 3 years, allowing you to support the sort of design and manufacture and repair or, working with the more technical elements of dentistry. And probably Eric could speak to this better than me a little later on, because often people ask what's the difference between oral health, dental technology and dental surgery. But this particular qualification does indeed allow you to work in New Zealand. In fact, there's a high demand for graduates in this space as well, off our New Zealand's green list as such. Now, interestingly, with the Bachelor of Dental Technology, you can actually apply directly from high school. You do not need to do health sciences first year. However, you can come through that option as an alternative. But it is possible for you to apply directly from school to the Bachelor of Dental Technology. It has limited places, so there is a selection process, and that would of course be based on your high school grades at that point. And in terms of those limited places, there's no distinction between domestic and international students in terms of places in that regard. We also have a Bachelor of Oral Health, more related to the hygiene and oral health elements that support and complement the world of dentistry. So again, 3 years, and again, also it's possible to apply directly as a high school leaver into this particular qualification. You do not have to do health science first year, though that is an option if you potentially as well. So again, it's on our green list in New Zealand. It's a high demand area, very good employment opportunities, but it is a competitive entry into the program directly from high school, as there are limited places. All right, moving on.
So the Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science, I almost like to say these are the detectives within the hospital. So a medical laboratory scientists is basically, as it says there is a shortage of them worldwide. So once again, they are on New Zealand's green list or demand in New Zealand. This is a 4-year full-time study program. So first year health sciences first year, then another 3 years, and you become registered with the New Zealand Medical Sciences Council straight after graduation. So your first 2 to 3 years of the program will be made up of lectures, papers, working in the laboratory or doing lab, and then your 4th year, it's placement within the hospital system. Basically, you need to pass all your health science first year papers at the first attempt, and the minimum average is 65%. International students compete with international students for a place into the Bachelor of Medical Laboratory Science. Right, at Otago, we call the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, or you come out with an MB-CHB. This is 6 years at university. Your first year is health sciences first year, and then if you get into the medicine and surgery program, it's another 5 years at the University of Otago. Within the 5 years, it does include 1 year of internship, which is your final year, and you will, upon graduating, can then register with the Medical Council of New Zealand. So your first 2 years when you get into the School of Medicine are integrated courses, of course, based around the body system. I think Kiana will tell you a little bit more about that. There will also be the chance to dissect a cadaver with other students in gross anatomy. And then it's your 4th and 5th year where you're starting to, in the holidays, get more clinical work within the hospitals, Otago training hospitals of Dunedin, even Christchurch, Wellington, leading into that final year of internship. Now, you need to pass all your health science first year papers at the first attempt, and it's a minimum of 70% in each paper. International students will compete with other international students. I might just remind everyone too that there is no SAT. We always get a lot of SATs, and as you can see, there's no interview as well. So it's all based on that basically minimum of at least your GPA within your health science first year papers. Is there anything I've missed, Fiona?
UCAT.
And the UCAT, right.
Great, so that's the big ticket one, I'm sure, for many people. Pharmacy.
Pharmacy. So the Bachelor of Pharmacy is a 4-year program. Once again, health sciences first year, and then another 3 years after that. It also includes a 1 year of internship after graduation to become registered with the Pharmacy Council of New Zealand. So basically, it's different to the other programs where in your 3 years, you have integrated courses, which means that throughout the year, you've got workshops, you've got skill workshops, you're having placements from year 3 onwards. Basically, as it says there, it's You're being taught cutting edge curriculum and the lab times, very hands-on and real life experience. And they've got their own pharmacy clinic. You'll even get to have patients that come into the Otago pharmacy clinic where you can actually talk to them about their medicines. To get into pharmacy, it's a pass in all health science first year papers at first attempt, and normally with a minimum average of 65. International students compete with international students. The Bachelor of Physiotherapy, once again, like pharmacy, is a 4-year program. Health science first year plus 3 years once you get in. And it's when you graduate, beg your pardon, you will get registration with the New Zealand Physiotherapy Board right after graduation. So within the Bachelor of Physiotherapy, there is placement from year 2. And basically you can have placement in one of the schools in either Dunedin, Christchurch or Wellington. We have our own Otago physiotherapy clinic too, which you'll have patients actually coming in, as well as working also in the hospital sector. Pass in all health science first year papers at first attempt, normally with a minimum average of 65%. International students will compete with international students for a place.
Now, not everyone is cut out to be dealing with patients face to face. And as such, there's a whole breadth of other excellent health science related degrees that allow you to be a part of the health sector and especially a part of the discovery, research and development of things that help us in our health, in our daily lives as well. So we wanted to make sure you're aware of other options, which include our fantastic Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science. Now, this is the only degree of its kind in New Zealand, and this is really geared up for those of you seeking a kind of an all-encompassing degree to look at the discovery, design and development of and formulation and use of drugs. And of course, pharmaceutical science or the pharmaceutical industry is global. It's ever expanding and hot in demand. So this is a wonderful way within a 3-year bachelor degree to achieve a qualification that can certainly take you places. It's very lab-based, very hands-on, and it's great for students with interests in science and technology and who do have a passion for medicine or interest in how to prevent and treat diseases. But this really is a terrific program, and again, one of its kind. And not only does it focus on or incorporate sort of Western practices, it does also bring in a unique perspective of our own rongoa Māori perspectives in toward treatment and consideration of medicines, which makes it extra special. So again, it is a 3-year program, and it's possible to directly apply into the Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Sciences directly from high school. It's not a limit of places, but you can also consider taking the Health Sciences first year program with Fiona initially, and then moving into this direction as an alternative way. But certainly hot demand in the pharmaceutical industry, in fact, cosmetics industry, regulatory affairs, pharmaceutical sales, among other areas. So wonderful degree program. The other favourite of mine is, in fact, our Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences, and biomedical science at Otago is exceptionally strong. This is for those of you who are very interested in looking at the causes and diagnosis and remedies of human diseases. So kind of in behind, discovering, identifying and pinpointing and finding solutions. And I think this is a very appealing option for those of you who may think you want to be a doctor, but maybe patient contact is maybe not your thing. So again, it is a 3-year program, and there are a couple of ways to enter into this. You can enter directly as a high school leaver with university entrance, and you would apply for what we call our Biomedical Sciences first year, a little bit like our Health Sciences first year, but a little bit more targeted specifically for the biomedical science degree. And that's a great mapped out series of courses in your first year, and then you progress into your second and third year, in which you can choose to specialise in one of the 6 majors indicated here up on the slide. So whether that's drugs and human health, or infection and immunity, for instance, nutrition and metabolism and human health, reproduction, genetics and development, among others there. So again, 3 years and great career prospects from this particular degree as well. Righto. Now, I think it's fair to say that degree can actually really take you places.
Yeah, we're incredibly proud that that's a photo of Rihanna Barawani. She was Saudi Arabia's first female astronaut to go to the International Space Station, and she was an Otago graduate. So she did a Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences as an undergrad, and then went on to do postgrad in aeroscience.
All right, now we also have the Bachelor of Health Sciences, and this one sometimes trips people up because the name is similar to Health Sciences first year, but essentially the Bachelor of Health Sciences is a 3-year public health degree, more or less. So this is focusing on prevention and promotion of health in our communities. There are opportunities to specialise in Māori or Pacific or global health. But what's really exciting about Otago's Bachelor of Public Health or Bachelor of Health Sciences is indeed the calibre of the epidemiologists and the researchers who are part of this program. Indeed, they were very much informing our government in terms of COVID response back in those days, and really are leading in a number of fascinating areas in support of community and public health. So this is a very strong program and attractive for many students. And of course, it leads to a variety of careers, whether that's locally in your community, or government advising, even looking at the World Health Organization, for instance. So there's a lot of opportunities there. It is a 3-year degree. You can enter directly from high school with your university entrance. Yeah, another great program. So lastly, the Bachelor of Science, which of course has many, many, many different majors or specializations, but a number of those are very much health science related. So it's possible to do a 3-year Bachelor of Science focused in anatomy, for instance, or genetics, or microbiology, and other examples as indicated on the slide. Furthermore, when you take a Bachelor of Science with a major in one of these health-related areas, it's actually possible to combine that with a minor in something else that might take your fancy, for instance, something from commerce, business, or the arts. So this is a wee bit more of a flexible program, but again, fantastic research, fantastic academics, and a really strong degree to take you in a variety of directions, depending on your particular passion.
Mm-hmm. A lot of students use this if they don't get into their health science professional programs. They'll then go on into second year Bachelor of Science in some of these health related majors. And there is the opportunity to then, if apply as a graduate once you've completed a BSc back into some of the professional health science programs as the graduate entry category. But for, say, for example, medicine, your bachelor must be from a New Zealand university.
Now, a couple of quick questions just in regards to some of the programs we've talked about. And Fiona, I'm going to loop you in here if I may, but do you mind just summarising for us the difference between health sciences first year and a Bachelor of Health Sciences?
So the health science first year, we talked about how there were 7 compulsory papers that you need to take in that program, whereas the Bachelor of Health Science, actually there's 3 papers from the health sci first year group of papers that you must take, but you've got more flexibility with the Bachelor of Health Science to pick other papers related to that degree.
And indeed, if your total ambition is to get into a professional health program, you have to take health science first year. Yeah. Now, what about health sciences first year versus biomedical sciences first year? That one's trickier.
Excellent question. But again, there is overlap. So again, health sci first year, 7 compulsory papers. For the biomedical sciences first year, you need to take 5 of those papers, so 5 of the 7 health sci first year papers. You don't have to do the physics paper or the population health paper. And it means that you can again pick up other papers that are more related to that breadth of biomedical sciences.
Excellent. Now, what if you already have a degree or a registration from overseas in the health arena? What are our options then?
Okay, so if you've got a degree, it's a bit like Victoria mentioned before. If you're aiming for, say, medicine or dentistry and you already have a degree in something else, you might need to help me here, is, as you've
Yeah.
said, it's a different category. So you can come in as a graduate or you can come in through the alternative pathway to health professional programs. I think the alternative is probably more appropriate.
Yeah, basically for health sciences first year, you have to be very careful that if they'll look and see if you've actually got a degree from overseas. And for a lot of students, they'll be declined into health sciences first year because it is a year of competition, and it's an unfair advantage if you've already done the equivalent of the health science first year papers. So if you already have a degree, you would not be able to get into health science first year for you, but there are graduate categories and alternative categories. Please go onto our website for more information.
And actually another point on that is if you are a school leaver and you do wish to study health science first year, but you've got a gap, perhaps a half a year before our next cycle, you're not allowed to do any university level study in any of the...
Yeah, the important thing is it'd be fine to do an arts subject,
Yes.
but you can't do papers that would overlap with the material in our health science first year papers. And it's the same for the degree. If you've done an arts degree, would probably let you into health science first year. It's more if you've done, say, a chemistry degree or a physics or anatomy, then you've got an advantage, as Victoria said, and we want to keep things fair across the cohort.
Right, we're just going to switch briefly into the topic of scholarships for international students in relation to any of these health science programs, and this is how it works. So Otago has the Vice-Chancellor's Scholarship for International Students. This is applicable for new full degree bachelor students commencing with us next year or 2026. It's valued at 10,000 New Zealand dollars off the tuition of your first year of study, and these are unlimited. So essentially, if you are an international student who will be joining us for a degree program, whether that's commencing health sci first year and moving through, or directly into, for instance, Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Sciences, then you will be considered for the Vice-Chancellor International Student Scholarship. In terms of applying, it's super straightforward. When you make your application for admission, there will be a moment where you are asked a question, would you like to be considered for an international scholarship? And you would select yes, and that's the application for that part done. Next up, we have the University of Otago Global Scholarships, and these are available to students from particular citizenship who will be commencing a new bachelor degree program with us in 25 or 26. Now, the current eligible countries for this particular scholarship are China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. The value of this scholarship is $15,000. Again, it's taken off the first year of your tuition. And again, there are unlimited offers for this particular scholarship. Again, the key to apply is when you get that question, would you like to be considered for an international scholarship? You select yes. Now, just to point out, it's not possible to have a Vice-Chancellor scholarship and a global. Essentially, if you're from one of the countries listed here on this slide, you would be awarded a global. If you're not, you would be awarded a Vice-Chancellor scholarship. And of course, that's subject to being in line with the regulations and formal rules for the scholarship. But effectively, if you're going to be joining us for a new bachelor degree program, you are new and starting a 3-year bachelor at minimum with us, you would be considered for that. Now, we're very excited to introduce you to our International Academic Excellence Scholarship. This is new for students commencing in 25, and this is an opportunity for us to recognise top talent of students who have been studying in an overseas school and who will be coming again for a full bachelor with us. And the value of this scholarship is actually up to 35,000 New Zealand dollars, which consists of approximately 20,000 New Zealand dollars to cover your first year of accommodation, followed by a second year tuition scholarship and a third year tuition scholarship. Now, this is a competitive selection, so your grades and any other related information to that will be considered by a panel. And it is actually possible to have either a Vice-Chancellor International Scholarship or a Global Scholarship plus this Academic Excellence Scholarship, meaning you have a potential total value of up to 50,000 New Zealand dollars, depending on the particular citizenship in this occasion. So how to apply for this one? Well, what will happen is if you receive an offer of place to the university and you are offered a Vice-Chancellor or a Global Scholarship and you accept that, then you will be invited to apply for the International Academic Excellence Scholarship. And for that, there's a small application form to complete, and then you will be considered for that one. Now, what is high achieving? We often get asked that. Typically, we're looking at the top 1 to 5% of achievers of all applicants in the round. But kind of more informally, we'd be expecting a minimum GPA of at least 80% or an A- to be kind of in the realms for that area. In case, actually, I'm not sure if this one applies in this case, it can do. We do have an additional scholarship, International Partnership Scholarship, for some of our students who are studying at a partner university and who will be articulating and joining into one of our degree programs, whereby they will take at least 4 semesters of study or 2 years with us. And these students will be considered for the International Partnership Scholarship. There is a selection for that. That is valued at $10,000 off tuition. In case you are a New Zealand-based international student currently in a New Zealand high school right now, you are able to be considered for scholarships alongside your domestic peers by applying for the undergraduate entrance scholarships. And this has a very specific application period because you're in New Zealand together with your student friends at a New Zealand high school. So you can only apply actively for these between July and mid-August. And again, the range of value is from $10,000 up to $45,000. So that's handy to know, but if you are a New Zealand student, international student, you must apply in that specific New Zealand University Entrance Scholarship period in July to August. Lastly, some of you might be looking a little bit further ahead, and it's great to know the New Zealand government has a very generous Manaaki New Zealand scholarship program. This is a full scholarship covering all costs. And of course, there are eligible countries and eligible or priority subject themes. So it's worth you having a look at the Manaaki website to understand those options. There is usually only one application cycle each year held in the month of February for studies, typically the following February. And lastly, in case you don't quite meet our university entrance requirements and need or would like to take our foundation studies program, for instance, we do have the University of Otago Pathway Scholarship. And for that, there is a minimum value of 5,000 New Zealand dollars, which you can be considered for, and you need to make an active application using a PDF form for that one. Right, I'm conscious of the time. We're going to zip through the application process. Here are some key dates. You can apply right now to join us for Health Sciences first year next year, or indeed any of our other excellent health professional or health-related bachelor degree programs. So the application period is open from the 1st of May to the 15th of May for Health Sciences first year, Biomedical Sciences first year, the Bachelor of Health Sciences, the public health one, or the Bachelor of Science. Likewise for the Bachelor of Pharmaceutical Science, and I feel like we're missing in one, but I can't quite remember. However, what is important to note is there is a specific application period for our Bachelor of Oral Health and the Bachelor of Dental Technology. Those particular 2 programs don't open until the 1st of August, and the deadline is the 15th of September. So it's important to note those special application deadlines. So just a reminder, as we briefly commented on earlier, if you are successful coming into Health Sciences first year, you won't apply for the professional health program until you are in that Health Science first year program. It's during that year. And of course, leading up to that moment, there's a lot of information and support so you can be sure of your options and work through all of that. But you cannot apply directly for medicine or dentistry or physiotherapy, etc. You need to go for Health Sci first year first. Righty-ho, very briefly, scan the QR there, but check the entry requirements. You need to apply online through our eVision application portal. If you're hoping to do a professional program, you need to choose Health Sciences first year. That is the name of the program you're applying for, and you need to submit that application. There is only one intake each year for Health Sciences first year. There's only one intake each year for the Bachelor of Dental Technology, and there's only one intake for the Bachelor of Oral Health. We have a February intake for our Foundation Studies certificate, as well as a June intake. Yes. And you can apply for the Bachelor of Biomedical Sciences the first year in either semester 1 or semester 2. And a reminder that in New Zealand, semester 1, or the start of our academic year, is in summer in February, whereas our second intake is in July, which is kind of wintry. Righty-ho, life in the classroom. I think we're going to cut straight through to our students to share this information, because obviously there'll be a combination of lectures and tutorials, laboratory sessions, clinical placements, and access to a variety of other options. And we're going to skip through accommodation at this moment in time. I'm sorry, we're going to jump to our students to share more about all of this. So we're going to open up the floor and now be joined by Eric, who is a real live international student.
Yeah, so hi again, guys. My name is Eric Seo. I study Bachelor of Dental Surgery at the University of Otago. I come from South Korea, and I'm the class representative of my dentistry class, and I take a lot of leadership positions this year, and I'm also the international student ambassador here, which is the reason why I'm talking about my study journey at the University of Otago. Yeah, so my study journey at Otago started with health sciences first year, and I applied to many different health professional programs such as medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, physiotherapy, and I chose dentistry because that's the degree that I've been wanting to pursue. And University of Otago is known for its world-class education, especially Faculty of Dentistry is really highly ranked, and the building and facilities are both like really modern, and which can offer you one of the best dental education in the world. And the campus itself is really beautiful also, as you can see in the photo. Typical day in my life, I have 2 to 3 lectures a day and 1 to 2 labs a day. Dentistry is a really hands-on degree, which means we have a lot of labs. So if you prefer like practical learning sessions over just like sitting down and memorizing lecture slides, then dentistry might be the one for you. And outside of studies, I do tutoring. I tutor some high school students, and I do a lot of extracurricular activities such as those leadership committee activities and some church commitments. And during the night time, I usually study at the library because my friends also study at the library, and I go to the library not just to study, but also to socialize. Yeah, and some tips for academic success. I recommend you guys to use planners and apps to keep track with assignments and deadlines, and actively participating into lectures and discussion study groups is really important because it's scientifically proven that active learners retain a lot more information than passive learners. And for smooth transition to university life, I recommend you guys to join a lot of clubs and societies to meet new people and build a support network. And as you can see in the slide, that's the logo of Otago University Korean Students Association, which is the club that I'm running. So if you guys don't know what club to join, feel free to join this club. Yeah, and also there's heaps of resources available for you guys. So I recommend you to make the most out of it. Yeah, that's it for me.
Excellent, Eric. Thank you so much. And may I ask, what have you enjoyed the most so far out of health sciences first year and dentistry so far? What's like a highlight for you?
Highlight. So we have this lab called simulation clinic in dentistry. It's basically like we have the whole like dentistry set up in the lab, and like it's really fun to work on those like modalities and stuff. Yeah, that's my favorite part of dentistry. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Eric. Now we're going to switch over to Kiana. Kiana, sorry.
Yeah, my name is Kaina and I come from India, and I'm a second year medical student here at the University of Otago. I am an international student ambassador and the residential officer for the Otago International Student Association. So my reason for coming to Otago, I mean, Meg and Vic have already covered it up, but it's like a well-rounded university, and it takes all my check boxes. Like we have like top-notch education here. We've got amazing lecturers and professors for our lectures, and everything's at a short walking distance. So the location's pretty good. And personally, I enjoy like experiencing 4 different weathers in the same day. So, so that's pretty good. And we have ample of like events happening around the campus. So it's pretty lively. And talking about student support, there's tons of support available for students, especially international students, so that you're like never like feel alone. And finally, I'd like to say it's the people and like the connections that you make here that make the entire experience like a lot more like wholesome and just worth it. Yeah.
That's great.
So what a usual day in Manaus looks like. So I usually get breakfast at my residential college that has all like meals prepared for me, like breakfast, lunch, and dinners. And following that, I usually go to my lectures. So we usually have 10 lectures a week alongside 4 to 5 labs, which are very hands-on. And after that, I just go for like a quick study session at my favorite study spot at the campus. It's really pretty if you just go check that out. And
Sorry, I have one slide too many, sorry.
no worries. So top tips for coming
Sorry, I'm mucking you around now.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Yeah, I'll go back with this one.
Yeah. So top tips about coming to the university. It's a new city or a new country, and it's okay to feel overwhelmed, but you have ample of support available here. And so you just need to take the first step to like come out of your comfort zone, and you'll just find people, like-minded people, and it'll be okay. So yeah, just also like make sure to like pack for all weathers. And as I said before, Dunedin's pretty beginner friendly, like everything's on the campus. So yeah, just everything will be okay. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing your story. I'm sorry about my slides.
Oh, no, it's
for
all fine.
driving. That was terrible.
Just quickly, because we're running out of time and we didn't really get to focus on the colleges. Just explain to the audience what you do in the evenings, how the colleges support you in health sciences first year.
Oh yeah, so most of the colleges have tutorials based on like what papers you're studying. So in my case, I am at St. Margaret's College, and we usually have tutorials for people studying the same papers. So the college just like arranges tutors to come in, and we have like it's like a smaller ratio of the student to the tutor. Yeah. Yep. So that's pretty helpful for all the first year students. Yeah.
So when we talk about colleges, we're talking about residential colleges, hostel accommodation.
That's right. Excellent. And Kayana, if I'm not mistaken, I saw something on one of your slides here. This is why I got so distracted, because I saw you have got the pinky bluey in the sky.
Yes. Yeah. I'd love to mention that we recently saw like the auroras.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the month of May. So that's amazing. Like it's an amazing spot to study. Yeah.
And if I'm also not mistaken, you were once sitting on the other side of this, watching this webinar.
That is true. I attended the 2022 webinar, just like any other prospective student, and I found it pretty helpful. So yeah, I'm sitting here on the opposite side now.
Well, thank you, Eric and Kayana, for sharing your experience. It's exciting for you to know that it's possible. You can do health sci first year, and you can get into the professional programs and do very well. So I think we're now ready to move into some questions and answers that have popped up during our presentation. And we did skip over accommodation today just due to timing, but we can always come back to that later.
We can. So please put your questions into the Q&A. We do have staff behind the scenes that are answering those for you. But just pulling out some of the most common themes that have been running through the hour is the first one is, what was the health science first year grade cutoff this year for the medical program for international students?
Yeah. So each year there is a different cutoff. It really depends on the cohort, but generally it is high, particularly for medicine, whether you're a domestic or an international student. And we really just encourage all the students to do the best that they can and really engage with the material and the papers and do your best. But yes, it is very competitive to get into both medicine and dentistry. But on the other hand, we have amazing students, and I'm sure that many of you fit into that category, who come here and do really, really well and get into the program that they want.
Eric, you got into the Bachelor of Dental Surgery program. Did you find it competitive, or is there any advice for students that you can kind of give to students?
Yeah, so obviously it's dentistry. It cannot be easy to get in. It is competitive, but I just wanted to point out that like it's it's not like, if you put in the work, if you study consistently, if you like keep engaged in studying and stuff, then yeah, you're gonna be able to make it into Bachelor of Dental Surgery. Yeah.
Do you have any advice on how students can maximize their chances?
Just like being consecutive, like being consistent with your studies and just like not letting like the snowman effect just like snowball, you know?
Yeah.
Like things just keep getting added up. Just like make sure not to like go to that stage and just be on like top of things. Yeah.
I always say to advice, don't get a part-time job in health sciences
Oh,
first year.
definitely,
You know, focus. This is your year to focus and get in. And the mother in me says, no boyfriends or girlfriends while you're doing health science first year. You just focus on getting into that course, and then you can have a quality of life.
Okay. Here's another question. Well, actually, I just want to add to that because I think Fiona makes, well, everyone's made a very good point, but ultimately it's about showing up and being present for the learning and engaging, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah. This isn't a time to skip a lecture and watch a recording. It'll snowball.
Exactly.
We've got another question here. How many health science first year international students are there on an average every year? That's a good question, Victoria. That fluctuates a little bit. And actually, I'm not sure if you can recall in your year.
Oh, I think it was around,
I want to say
I'm not sure. It was
I'd say it
around,
was around
100.
100.
Yeah.
100 to
Yeah.
150 is where
Yeah.
my numbers sit in my head. So that's that. But I think another natural thing that happens for students, if I'm not mistaken, during health sciences first year is, and this is for domestic and international, that there comes a point where some students quite early on realize, actually, yeah, I'm actually really interested in this, which leads me into a Bachelor of Science in genetics, for instance, or I'm more interested in the biomedical science side of it behind the scenes. So there's sort of a natural movement within that cohort right off the bat or during that year.
Yeah, definitely. Every year we have a number of students who actually decide health science first year isn't for them, and they might even move into a Bachelor of Science in the first couple of weeks because they've realised it's not for them, and they can continue to do that through the year as they're learning more, gaining more experience in the different subject areas and thinking about what those professions will look like.
And I think you also have like a career, or almost like a career fair, don't you? Where all the departments come together and students can do that one-on-one.
In May each year, we invite all the health sci first year students to come into actually the building that we're in now, and we have all the professional programs for the health sciences come in, and all the health science first year students, we had 4 hours. It was completely packed the whole time with students coming in, talking to the students who are already in medicine and dentistry, med lab side, to understand what the programs, what all of the programs are like. And we had quite a few students saying, oh, I didn't really understand, what dental technology was, or what you'd really do as a pharmacist. And that's very, very helpful for students, because we also recommend that you can actually apply for all of those programs. So to leave your options open. And so if you're finding out that there's actually a couple of different programs that you'd be interested in, you can apply for as many as you like.
Now we have got another question here, and I'm not 100% sure we have the figures handy. How many health science first year international students applied to medicine and got into medicine program this past year?
We have a limit on the number of international places into medicine, as well as into dentistry, pharmacy, physiotherapy, and med lab sci. And for 2024, so for the cohort that Kiana was in, there were 20 places. And so that was filled with 20 international students into medicine.
Great. Okay. Well, moving on, it's time to wrap it up because it is just about on the hour. So we'd like to thank you all very much for joining us. I'd really like to thank Kiana and Eric, who are very successful in doing fantastic work as students here at the university. You should be very proud of yourselves, and I'm sure your family are very proud of you too. And it's lovely for Fiona to see successful health science first year students coming through her program. Thank you, Fiona, for joining us and sharing insights. We will look forward to seeing you again at one of our next webinars, and we again invite you to apply. The application period is open right now to join us for Health Sciences first year next year, and a number of our other health-related degree programs with a direct application in. And look forward to seeing you next time, or indeed here in person next year. Thank you. Bye-bye.